Hello, everyone. My name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we are going to be talking about Marvel Studios' Black Panther. Black Panther is one of my most anticipated movies of 2018. It's number 3 in my top 10 most anticipated list of movies in 2018. Black Panther. It's not the first black superhero movie, but it is the first black superhero movie, I think, to be released by a major studio company. Yes, we did have Blade in the past, which is a Marvel movie, but they didn't officially put that Marvel logo on Blade until the third Blade movie, Blade Trinity. So yes, it was a Marvel movie, but a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't even know that when Blade first came out. And hey, Stan Lee doesn't make a cameo. And if Stan Lee doesn't make a cameo in your Marvel movie, then you're not really a Marvel movie. I don't know. But, we've had black superheroes in the past. We had Spawn, Blade, who I just mentioned. We had Meteor Man. And currently, we have Luke Cage. We have Black Lightning. So there is superheroes who are black in the market. And Marvel Studios, they're a juggernaut right now. They're just taking Hollywood by storm because they have created a shared universe, which everyone is just trying to emulate now. Works for some, doesn't work for others, whatever. But they're working with Disney, and Disney is a monopoly right now. They're buying up everything. And so to have this movie, Black Panther, all black cast, black superhero, released by Marvel and Disney, that's a huge milestone for just black films and black superhero movies. I don't know where things are going to be going in the future, if anywhere, but hey, I was excited for Black Panther. That's all I know. So let's get into it.
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
After the events in Captain America's Civil War, T'Challa assumes his father's mantle by not only becoming the king of Wakanda, which is a fictional East African nation within the Marvel Universe. He also becomes the Black Panther, who is the protector of Wakanda. I am T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, and protector of Wakanda. It was interesting to see how the mantle of the Black Panther was passed on from generation to generation. At the beginning of the movie, we see T'Challa as the Black Panther when he's a young man. T'Challa dies in Civil War. Now that mantle is thrown upon T'Challa, who is forced to become the Black Panther, which he has no problem with that. He has all the physical attributes to be the Black Panther, but he lacks the belief within himself to be king. It seems like in order to be a ruler, you have to have ancestry. Because T'Challa becoming the king of Wakanda was easy. His father died and now it's passed on to him. But for the mantle of Black Panther, the protector of Wakanda, it's a bit more difficult. There's this challenge that someone can invoke and say, hey, I don't think you have the right to be king. I want to be king, and I want to rule and hold the mantle of Black Panther and all that. So there's a scene where T'Challa fights this guy from another tribe called M'Baku. Now, at this moment, I was saying as this fighting scene was taking place, or you could call it a ritual between these two tribes to see who's going to hold the mantle of King of Wakanda and Black Panther. And as this fighting scene was going down, I was looking at M'Baku, and he was winning, and then you see T'Challa, and he's getting beat up, but then there's this one moment that really bothered me. I am T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, and protector of Wakanda. It's like one of those moments in movies where, for example, in Fast Five, you have The Rock and you have Vin Diesel fighting each other. Vin Diesel is losing, getting his ass whooped by The Rock, and then all of a sudden, Vin Diesel gets this burst of energy when he sees a gun being pointed at his sister, and all of a sudden he like turns into a Hulk and he gets all mad. He just starts hulking out, and that stuff is kind of unbelievable to me, and that is what happens. That the scene between M'Baku and T'Challa and them fighting, it happens in this movie, and it started going in a good direction because like T'Challa's going to get his ass whooped, and that's what I thought was going to happen. But then it kind of ended in a cheesy way, but it did make up for it later. The nation of Wakanda was thoroughly explained to me. By the end of the movie, I understood their heritage, their technology, their rituals, and their many different tribes. I will also say that this Marvel movie has one of the best Marvel villains I've seen in recent memory. Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, is what I have been waiting for in a villain since, you could say, Heath Ledger's the Joker. Now, hold on a sec. Michael B. Jordan he doesn't deliver a performance like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. That's in the caliber, Heath Ledger's Joker caliber of his own. But Michael B. Jordan, as far as his character's story is concerned, he's there and he has a reason and there's a purpose and he believes in what he's doing. And so seeing that on screen with Killmonger, it made me feel for him as a character. I felt compassion. It wasn't just, oh, here's a villain and he's doing horrible things, we have to stop him. It's like, yeah, he's doing all of that, but there's a reason behind it. It's because his father was killed by T'Challa. T'Chaka. I get their names confused. It's T'Chaka, not T'Challa. Weird. T'Chaka. Blah, 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 blah. But T'Challa. No, T'Chaka. Yeah, T'Chaka killed Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger's father. And that was very compelling in the movie. I enjoyed that. All the stuff with Killmonger is great. And then with Michael B. Jordan there, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, they're like just super tight. And they work well together. Michael B. Jordan plays Eric Killmonger, who is villainous with a soul. He has the most compelling story out of every character in this movie because I would say that his villain has a reason and a purpose to be doing what he's doing. He believes in his cause. He doesn't think that what he's doing is wrong. And there's nothing better than to have a villain in the movie who feels like they are justified in the way that they're behaving. And the one thing that I do want to mention that I will give this movie points for is, like earlier I mentioned the whole M'Baku scene with him challenging T'Challa for the mantle. I was thinking that M'Baku was going to beat T'Challa, and T'Challa would then feel discouraged. I would have given the movie points for that, but then they did the whole cheesy thing where he gets pumped up and he beats the crap out of M'Baku, and I was like, oh, there was a wasted opportunity there. What is T'Challa going to go through? Like throughout the whole movie, he's just whining about, oh, I don't think what my father did was right in killing Killmonger's father and not doing something for Eric and helping him out and just abandoning him like that and lying and you dishonor me, all this stuff. And T'Challa worried about if he's going to be a good king and he wants to do something new and different than what all the old kings have done. That's all fine and dandy. But there's the moment where Killmonger shows up and he's like, I am going to be the new Panther and the new king, and challenges T'Chaka. Now this is when the movie gets interesting, because you look at Michael B. Jordan and his performance is good in this role, and the character, his story is engaging, and it keeps the viewer interested in this character. You feel a connection to this guy because there's those moments where you see Killmonger have these markings on his body of every person he's killed. And when I saw all these markings on his body, it felt like he had no soul. He was just a soulless killing machine. But at the same time, he does have a soul, because he says that he wants Wakanda to take all of their advanced technology and bring it to other people who are in need. It's like, you have all of these resources. Why don't you go out and help your fellow man, help your people? And that's what he's arguing about, because they left him behind and killed his father in cold blood, you can say, and just left him behind and let him grow up in the situations that he was in, and they could have helped. And that's what T'Challa is struggling with. He's like, well, we need to stay in the shadows because this is how we stay protected. But then at the same time, there are people out there who are suffering, and we need to do something about it. I'm not sure what I should do. So you got Killmonger coming in saying, I'm going to do something. So you got Danny Kaluuya in this movie, who was all upset about his family. He's like, you need to bring in Claw, and T'Challa, Black Panther, can't do it. He fails just like his father failed. So Danny Kaluuya is fed up, and all of a sudden, Killmonger kills Andy Serkis, kills him, and delivers his body just so he can challenge T'Challa. And he challenges T'Challa, and I'm thinking, okay, T'Challa beat M'Baku earlier in this movie. M'Baku, that whole twist that made me upset, and I'm like, oh man, Marvel missed. They dropped the ball with that. It's so cliche that T'Challa comes back and beats M'Baku. But then I give Marvel points because Killmonger defeats T'Challa, and I was thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna fight and T'Challa's gonna win, but no, Killmonger beat T'Challa, and I like that. And then when he picked him up and he threw him over the cliff and he fell into the river, it's like, yeah, he could have literally killed that guy. I mean, obviously he didn't kill him because, he's going to be in the Avengers because they gave it away in the trailer before this movie came out. And, whatever. They're going to make sequels. So obviously he's not going to die. There's lots of cop-outs where someone's going to die and they're not really dead. Like Martin Freeman gets shot. He's going to die, but they bring him back. Lupita Nyong'o looked like she's gonna die, but no, she miraculously lives. T'Challa, he should be dead, but he's not. But it's all good. It's fine. At least Killmonger beat up T'Challa, which is what M'Baku couldn't do, which I thought M'Baku should have done. But then Marvel flipped it and said, okay, M'Baku is gonna look like he's gonna beat T'Challa, then he's gonna lose. Then Killmonger's gonna go up against T'Challa and beat him. And so I like that. It's like they didn't give away their hand too early, because what I was hoping for, they didn't pull the trigger on. But then later on, they pulled the trigger, and I'm satisfied because I was just upset earlier about them not pulling the trigger, and then they pulled the trigger and surprised me. So I give them points for that. That's amazing. I love that. Chadwick Boseman plays T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, and Chadwick Boseman playing the Black Panther, T'Challa, has a lot of charisma. I will also say that his accent is a little funny. I don't know if Africans actually speak like that. I don't know if his accent's authentic. But the strange thing is that he's used that accent before in a different movie called Message from the King, which you can kind of consider, since he uses the same accent, you can kind of consider Message from the King a prequel to this movie. Danai Gurira plays Okoye, who is a elite or top member of the Dora Milaje, which is a team of highly trained female bodyguards who protect T'Challa or whoever is in the throne as King of Wakanda and Black Panther. She was strong. She didn't take any shit from anybody, as you saw in Civil War.
Move, or you will be moved.
She was great. I loved her character. So badass. Lupita Nyong'o plays Nakia, who is the love interest of T'Challa. She fights to help people who are on the outside of Wakanda. She's like one of those activist people. Her character was good. She had great chemistry with Chadwick Boseman. I liked her performance, and I liked her as a character. Letitia Wright plays Shuri, who is T'Challa's sister. She has a close relationship with her brother. She kind of reminded me of Q from 007. Most in particular, there was a scene with her and T'Challa going through one of those spiels that Q and Bond usually go through, where Q's showing Bond all the latest gadgets and Bond's taking a look at them. There's a scene like that in this movie which felt very 007 influenced. There's also a casino scene in this movie that is, the way it was executed, it instantly made my mind jump to Skyfall with the casino scene. It mirrored that scene exactly. But this character, I liked her. She was great. And her relationship with her brother was great. Winston Duke plays M'Baku. He has the first fight scene with T'Challa in this movie when he challenges him for the throne to have the mantle of king and Black Panther. He's from a different tribe, and there's a scene where he comes in, he challenges him, and they have a fight, which I think is one of the best action scenes in the movie. It's very intense. It looks real. That it seemed like the actors were really there, holding weapons and hitting each other. It felt very intense, hard hitting, beautifully directed by Ryan Coogler. He's a fantastic director. And like I said earlier, like when you see M'Baku and there's these moments where he headbutts T'Challa and T'Challa's down for the count, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, T'Challa does some crazy stuff. I am T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, a protector of Wakanda. He gets his ability back all of a sudden. I don't like stuff like that, but he gets his ability back. And it's funny. As soon there's a scene with M'Baku towards the end of the movie where we think Black Panther's dead. We think T'Challa's dead. When it was a good scene to have that, oh, is he dead? Or obviously he's not dead. But it was good to have that moment. Kind of felt like what Bane did Batman Dark Knight Rises, where he put him out of commission for a while. But T'Challa's out of commission. And then when they bring him back, they bring T'Challa back at the end. And T'Challa goes to M'Baku for help. And then M'Baku's like, I can't help you. I'll watch your mom and protect her, but I can't help you. I can't give you any of my men. But then there's this moment where T'Challa and Martin Freeman and Angela Bassett and some other characters are in a huddle, and it's the inspirational moment. And then out of the blue, M'Baku just has this moment where he claps and he's like, "Are you done? Are you done yet? Have you finished?" And when I saw that scene, it was funny. It didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel forced. There aren't a lot of jokes in this movie, but when they're inserted, they work. However, I will say that the scene where M'Baku was headbutting T'Challa and T'Challa's head was back, and all of a sudden, T'Challa gets the burst of energy. I am T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, a protector of Wakanda. At that moment, M'Baku, while T'Challa was doing his thing, getting all pumped up, talking, T'Challa should have did what he did at the end of the movie by interrupting that moment, which is a cliche, by interrupting it, slapping him or punching him in the face in the middle of the speech saying, "Hey, this is a fight. I didn't come here to talk." You know what I'm saying? Or something. I thought it would have been funny. Like, you got T'Challa in his big moment where he does his thing, and he's speaking, he's all influential the way he's speaking, and he's like, "I'm mighty and I'm back," and in the middle of his speech, because you just got T'Challa staring at him as he's talking to him. You know, you got M'Baku staring at T'Challa, while he's getting all pumped up. You could have just, like, punched him in the face in the middle of his speech. That would have been really funny. But whatever. Andy Serkis plays the wild card villain in this movie, who is a bit cartoonish and menacing. I liked Andy Serkis' character in this movie. His whole hand was interesting, how it would just open up and then he could blast people with like this plasma ray or something. That was the cartoonish part of it, but he was also menacing. Like the stuff he would do, like with his facial expressions, like how he would smile. And he just has a lot of fun with what he's doing. I loved Andy Serkis in this movie, but he got the short end of the stick. He died, but it helped to advance the plot, so that's good. Ryan Coogler knows how to create intense moments and display them on screen. Not only do his actors know how to project their characters' intensity through their performances. The script and how well it's written is what makes the actor's character's performance that much more intense. Even though I did find the script and its story execution mixed with the actor's character performances intense, I did find a few flaws within the action scenes of this movie. To me, it seems like Ryan Coogler, he's a great director. Like I said, the stuff is intense. The way he shoots and films everything. There are lots of good shots in this movie, especially at the casino scene, especially at the end of the movie where I think things escalate with Killmonger and him being on the throne and him fighting T'Challa and then M'Baku and T'Challa fighting. All that stuff is great. But then the scenes with just the Panther suit and especially the Panther suits at the end, I don't like any of those scenes really because the CGI looks kind of bad. It's not terrible, but it looks kind of bad. And at the beginning of the movie, when you just see Panther going on his missions and doing his thing, some of those scenes, the lighting is too dark. You can barely see anything. And when you really look closely at it, you can tell that's not Chadwick Boseman, it's not stunt double, it's a CGI Panther. And I just, at the beginning, I just felt a lack of presence with the Panther. And then when you see Panther in the suit and he's doing his thing, kicking ass, I wasn't really into it because, like I said, the scenes, they were filmed way too dark. The camera was way too shaky. And the Panther looked like a CGI character mixed with all of the other elements, how it was too dark and how the camera's shaking too much. I didn't like any of that stuff. So all the stuff with the Panther at the beginning, didn't care for it, wasn't invested. And then by the end, the two Panthers fighting, I wasn't invested in that either because it to me it looked like a video game, and I didn't like it. I like how we see a character's journey. This is a character's journey story. We see T'Challa, and it picks up from where Civil War left off. He wants to reconnect with his father. So they go to this astro plane field, which is a beautiful shot. And he goes there and he talks to his father and he gets some insight. And he wants to be a better king. He knows he's a good warrior, but he wants to be a better king. He wants to do something that the former kings never done. He wants to unite the tribes. And that's great because the tribes were never united. So him being worried about him being, because throughout the whole movie he's worried about being a leader. That's his main concern more than anything. He wants to be a leader to his people. He wants to do right by his people, and he feels bad about himself when that's not accomplished. So then when he learns what his father's done, that really hurts him because he's like, that's not what a king should be. A king shouldn't do that. I enjoyed seeing T'Challa's progression throughout the movie. Only other negative thing I can say is that I don't think there was much of a challenge for T'Challa. I'm getting them confused again. There wasn't much of a challenge for T'Challa in this movie. Because I really wish that, I still kind of do wish that M'Baku had beaten T'Challa. T'Challa, and then him fighting. It could have been like Rocky 3, where like T'Challa loses his first challenge and then someone else is king. And then he gets beat up again by Killmonger. And he's like, I just got beat up twice. I don't know how they would have worked it out, but that would have been cool. But I just felt like T'Challa, there wasn't a real challenge for him. And especially when he has the Black Panther suit on, he's pretty much invincible. And I will say that this movie does not show you its cards too early. There's stuff that I wanted at the beginning of the movie, but then I didn't get it until later on. So there's a payoff, and I give Marvel points for that because I want one thing to happen, and they don't give it to me, and they give me this crap instead. I am T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, and protector of Wakanda. And I don't like that because it's what's expected. So I saw that coming, but then by the end, or the beginning of the third act, close towards the end, they do what I thought they should have did earlier, but then I'm glad they didn't do that because they're building up a character and they're saving it for the end of the movie so they can have some more stuff to play with. There's a lot going on in this movie, I would say. There's lots of moving parts. There's multiple storylines here that connect with each other. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a popcorn movie, but I will also say it's one of those movies where you should pay attention to what's going on because you may miss something, because there's just so many storylines going on in this movie. You got Killmonger with him, you got Andy Serkis with him, you got T'Chaka, who's the father of Black Panther, and him at the beginning. You've got M'Baku and his thing. It's not nothing big, and then you got the whole like ritual stuff and the rituals, heritage, tribes, all of that, and it's all great, and I love it. And the only negative thing I can say about this movie is that I didn't really enjoy the Panther scenes at the beginning because the lighting was too dark, camera was too shaky, and the Panther looked like a CGI character. Overall, I will give the Black Panther Marvel Studios an A solid A. I had fun with this movie. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was something that was fresh, it was different. The directing was intense. The actors who were portraying these characters in the story were intense. Killmonger, one of the best characters in this movie, one of the best Marvel villains in recent memory. I love just seeing the different tribes, looking at their heritage, seeing all of this stuff that's usually never put on screen. And if it is, it's not done to this magnitude where you have a huge studio backing it. So it's good that Marvel put this out there and showed that, hey, just like the Coco movie, that hey, there's this other culture that most people aren't even exposed to because we all live in our tiny little bubbles. But it's good we have this. It's a fun movie, and it's got black cast, black superhero movie, and we most likely are going to get some sequels. We're going to see Black Panther and Infinity War. I can't wait. It's my number one most anticipated movie 2018. But yeah, I had fun with Black Panther. I enjoyed it, minus some of the Panther solo fight scenes, which, like I said, too dark, too shaky. It looked like it was CGI. And then, some just small stuff bothered me. Nothing major that upset me, and that's why I give it an A. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.